the flickering streetlights casting long shadows on the concrete. He watched the world spin past him, a blur of tailored suits and quick, cheerful exchanges, laughter swallowed by the honking of horns and the distant thrum of city nightlife. As he sipped from a lukewarm coffee cradled in a chipped paper cup, a figure caught his attention, a woman with disheveled hair and worry etched on her face. Dark circles hung below her eyes, telling a silent story of sleepless nights and unrelenting stress. A frail child nestled against her hip while a modest, weather-beaten backpack hung perilously from her shoulder, its straps frayed as if yearning for relief. She glanced toward his taxi, her expression a muddled tapestry of hope and despair. In that fleeting moment, something stirred deep within David. He thought of his own struggles, of late nights spent alone with heavy thoughts. Compelled by an indescribable urge, he rolled down the window and called out softly, "Need a ride?" The woman paused, taken aback. Hope flickered momentarily in her eyes. I do," she admitted, her voice cracking like brittle glass. After a brief moment she climbed into the back seat, a hesitant smile breaking through her anxiety, shining like a fragile beacon amid impending storms. "I'll pay you when I get there," she whispered, her voice barely a rustle amid the thick air of mutual vulnerability. David's heart swelled with a rush of empathy, tenacious and warm. "Don't worry about it," he replied, his determination seeping into his words like light breaking through clouds. "Just tell me where to go." Her brow furrowed, uncertainty weaving a fragile thread between them. "But really," he reassured her, casting a supportive glance through the rearview mirror. "We've all got our battles to fight." He punched the pedal, steering the cab into the pulsating heart of the city, a cacophony of noise and chaos swirling around them. As they maneuvered through the crowded streets, the air thickened with unspoken thoughts, punctuated only by the soft cooing of the baby at her side. The woman began to fidget with her backpack strap, eyes darting outside as if searching for answers in the web of city lights. David could feel the weight of her worry, an invisible shroud that suffocated her hope. "Thank you for this," she finally said, her voice a trembling whisper, revealing the depth of her gratitude. "I've been struggling." Since my husband left, tears threatened to spill from her eyes and David's pulse quickened at the gravity of her situation. Sympathy washed over him like a cool breeze on a blistering day. "I'm sorry to hear that," he replied, his voice low and sincere. "It's rough out there. Just remember, you're doing your best." "Yeah," she said, her tone somber, as though capturing the weight of the world in those two syllables. "Every day feels like drowning." Inside his heart, David's own troubles resonated in tandem: the late rent, the empty fridge, the silent apartment that echoed with dreams deferred. But as he glanced back at her, something sparked a fierce resolve to ease her burden, even just a little. As they neared her destination, she recounted the unrelenting cycle of job applications, the relentless rejections, and her fierce desire to care for her child. David listened attentively, the connection between them deepening with each shared word, each sigh. "Can you stop right here?" she requested abruptly as they approached a modest apartment complex clad in peeling paint and aged brick. He intended to end the ride with a casual wave, but the warmth of their moment lingered. "Hold on a sec," he said, instinctively reaching into his pocket. He gathered several bills and his breath hitched slightly as he pressed the money into her open palm before she could protest. "What? I can't," she stammered, looking at the unexpected bounty with both confusion and hope glistening in her eyes. "Just take it," he insisted, his tone firm but wrapped in kindness. "It'll help. I promise." Ever so slowly, realization dawned across her features, illuminating the corners of her distress with a fragile sense of relief. Their eyes locked, a moment suspended in time, weaving the threads of understanding and support. It was a shared heartbeat, where David felt as though he had transferred a piece of his own burden to her, melding their struggles into a tapestry of resilience and perseverance. With a grateful nod, she stepped out of the cab, the weight of her world slightly lifted but her spirit emboldened by their encounter. "You have no idea what this means to me," she said over her shoulder, sincerity etched into her features before the door clicked shut, sealing their brief connection. As David watched her disappear into the dusky evening, an unfurling ache ignited in his chest, bittersweet, yet buoyant. promising yet uncertain. At that moment, he imagined a ripple effect radiating from this single act of kindness, extending far beyond their separate lives, entwining them in the shared fabric of humanity. The city continued to pulse around him, a cacophony of life soaking into every crack and crevice of the streets. But he felt something profound, a connection not just to the pavement beneath his cab, but to the essence of compassion itself, the invisible threads tying one heart to another. Little did David know, hours later his phone would buzz with extraordinary energy, a call that would irrevocably shift the trajectory of his life. The clouds of uncertainty that loomed above were ready to break, spilling fresh opportunities in ways he had never anticipated. Maybe, just maybe, the universe had a curious way of balancing out kindness, and this time, it seemed poised to return the favor. As the weeks rolled on, David's community transport initiative grew into a cornerstone for the neighborhood, weaving together threads of friendship and support among those who utilized his services. Each ride became more than just a journey, it transformed into a shared experience where stories flowed freely. The drivers, most of whom had faced their own adversities, found camaraderie in the car, and passengers felt less like clients and more like family, sharing a moment of connection. One bright Saturday morning, under the vibrant hues of early spring, David loaded his taxi with supplies for a local park cleanup event he had organized. Excitement buzzed in the air as community members gathered, ready to roll up their sleeves and make a difference together. White t-shirts bearing the initiative's logo were handed out, and laughter spilled over as children played on the grassy expanse while adults gathered in small clusters, some sipping coffee from nearby vendors who eagerly supported the cause. David ducked into the passenger seat for a moment to catch his breath, running a hand through his hair as he considered how far he had come. Just months ago, he had been struggling to pay bills and feeling lost, and now he was surrounded by smiling faces, engaging in a collective effort that resonated deeply within him. "Hey you," a familiar voice called out. Sophia jogged up to him, her expression bright with enthusiasm, a trowel in her hand and a colorful sun hat perched on her head. "I couldn't miss this. I've been spreading the word to everyone I know." David smiled back, feeling buoyed by her support. "It means a lot to see you here. I couldn't have done any of this without your help." "Oh, stop it," she teased, nudging him playfully. "You're the one who turned the spark into a flame. This place is buzzing. Look at all these people." They both turned to survey the joyful chaos around them, the laughter, the teamwork, the connection knitting them all together like strands in a tapestry. Just beyond the festivities, David spotted Marco setting up a makeshift stage, testing the sound equipment. He caught David's eye and gave a thumbs up, signaling that he was ready for their scheduled performance later. As the cleanup progressed, David found himself reflecting on the palpable changes within his life and the lives of those he encountered. Each conversation had become an opportunity to uplift others, to share both struggles and triumphs that resonated deeply. The weekend was not just about cleaning the park, it was about rekindling a sense of community spirit. A reminder that simple acts, like a drive through the city, opened doors to conversations that could spark broader change. Hours later, after the park blossomed with renewed vibrancy, David stood before the gathered crowd, feeling a flicker of nerves dance in his stomach. He cleared his throat, a sign that it was time for him to speak. "Thank you all for being here today," he began, the sun casting warm rays across the group. "This initiative started with the hope of building connections, but seeing you all here, working side by side, proves that this is about so much more." He paused, searching the crowd for familiar faces: Esther, their laughter still ringing in his ears; Marco, eager to perform; mothers and fathers who had ridden in his cab, and his voice swelled with emotion. "What we have built together is a testament to the power of kindness, community, and resilience. Each of us has a story to tell, and every ride or shared experience adds to our collective journey. Here's to more moments like today. Thank you for believing in this mission. Together, we can achieve so much more." The crowd erupted into applause, a wave of support washing over him. As he stepped back, Sophia squeezed his arm, her eyes sparkling with admiration. "You did it, David. You brought everyone together. This is amazing." Before the program ended, Marco took the stage and began to perform, his soulful voice filling the air. Music intertwined with laughter, And gradually, the park transformed into a celebration, where the spirit of community thrived and pulsed like a vibrant heartbeat. As the sun dipped lower on the horizon, bathing the park in a warm golden glow, David leaned against his taxi, overwhelmed yet exhilarated. The city's skyline glimmered in the distance, a reminder of all that lay ahead, a tapestry of interconnected lives and the promise of tomorrow. In this moment, he realized that his journey had become less about him and more about the community he had forged through simple acts of kindness and a desire to uplift others. With each passing day, he envisioned expanding the services, integrating meaningful programming that benefited those in need, and providing mentorship opportunities for the young people in the neighborhood. He was ready to give back in ways that reached beyond what he could have imagined before. As he watched families dancing and children launching paper airplanes into the warm evening air, he grasped the profound truth in giving and connecting. He had unknowingly unlatched the door to his own deepest fulfillment. And in turn, the community had opened its arms wide, ready to welcome him home. With an indelible smile on his face, David knew that kindness was a seed planted within him, strong, resilient, and poised to flourish into the future. The city stretched before him like a canvas, vibrant with colors just waiting to be painted anew, rich with stories yet to unfold. Together, they had created something beautiful, a narrative teeming with life, a journey where every passenger counted, every story mattered, and compassion paved the way for endless possibilities. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, David's community initiative thrived like a well-tended garden, blossoming in ways he had only dared to dream. The annual charity event became an anticipated beacon, drawing in people from across the neighborhood and beyond. Each gathering was a testament to their collective journey, a blend of laughter, music, and heartfelt connections, where stories of resilience were lovingly shared and dreams took root in the fertile ground of compassion. Miguel had grown into a spirited young volunteer, his enthusiasm infectious as he engaged not just with his peers but also with the older generations, bridging gaps that often felt insurmountable. David felt a deep sense of pride every time he saw Miguel encouraging his friends or helping newcomers understand the outreach programs. "Dad," he would often say, "everybody has something to share." Those words echoed the very heartbeat of their community, a mantra that reflected the beauty of coming together, fueled by the belief in lifting one another. One particularly spirited Saturday, as the autumn leaves painted the streets in shades of gold and crimson, David organized a community cleanup and block party. Branching out from their previous endeavors, he envisioned an event that celebrated nature while fostering a commitment to caring for the neighborhood's environment. Excitement bubbled among the volunteers, and anticipation hummed in the crisp air. On the day of the event, laughter and chatter filled the atmosphere, and the park was alive with energy. Volunteers of all ages gathered, equipped with gloves, trash bags, and an eagerness to work. Families set up picnic blankets, a makeshift stage housed local musicians, and food vendors dotted the space, each contributing to their community's enrichment. Leading a group of children, Miguel hopped into action, picking up litter near the playground. He laughed as he playfully chased his friends around, turning the cleanup into an adventure, while David loved watching his son's joy unfold among his peers. A sense of gratitude washed over him as he realized how far they had come, not just in terms of tangible successes, but in paving the way for a shared community spirit that thrived on kindness and support. As the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting elongated shadows across the ground, David knew it was time to gather everyone together for a brief announcement. Climbing onto a small stage, he felt the weight of genuine excitement and affection radiating from the crowd. "Thank you all for being here, for pitching in, and for making this neighborhood a better place. Our commitment to each other isn't just about helping, it's about growing together." Miguel, standing nearby, cheered loudly, catching the spirit of the moment. "Yeah, kindness is the best superpower," he declared, his little arms raised emphatically, prompting hearty laughter that enveloped everyone. The day wrapped up with music, dancing, and stories being shared under the twilight sky. As he reveled in the night's warmth, David's heart brimmed with gratitude for the connections they had forged, the friendships, the collaborations, the lives intertwined in a fabric of community-driven purpose. In the midst of all the festivities, he spotted Sarah from the corner of his eye, her laughter echoing through the park as she enjoyed the company of her daughter. He made his way over, overcoming the barriers of distance that had once felt insurmountable. "Hey, it's wonderful to see you here." Sarah beamed. "This event is incredible. Thank you for including us in all this." Emma clung slightly to her mother's side, her shy smile breaking forth as she waved at Miguel. Miguel was so excited to participate, David responded, picturing how joyful his son must be to see them all enjoying the fruits of their labor. "I can see you two are thriving. Emma, are you ready to help at the next event?" He knelt to speak at the young girl's level. A warm smile spread across his face. "Can I, Mom? I want to help too," Emma chimed, her voice soft but teeming with a determination that made David's heart swell. "Absolutely, sweetheart," Sarah replied, her eyes brimming with pride. It was a subtle reminder that their shared journey had evolved into something deeply impactful, a circle of kindness interwoven with aspirations and dreams. Just then, Miguel bounded over to them, enthusiasm radiating from his every pore. "Hey, want to help us clean the playground? It's kinda messy." His eagerness was contagious. "Come on, Emma. Let's make it sparkle with that invitation." The trio dashed off, laughter trailing behind them like the vibrant colors of fall leaves. As David watched them go, happiness filled his heart, a swelling hope for the youth navigating challenges but supported by a network built on compassion. He took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of community cocoon around him. So much had changed since that fateful night when he chose to reach out, and so much more awaited on the horizon. As months rolled on, David and Sarah collaborated on various community-driven initiatives, each one a testament to their dedication to nurturing a space where people could flourish. From mentorship programs for local youth to arranging skill-sharing workshops, each idea seemed to spark creativity and engagement across the community, further solidifying the bonds that had started as whispers and blossomed into a roaring voice. But like all journeys, the challenges persisted. There were late nights filled with paperwork and logistical planning and balancing work while nurturing his young son.